Hormones, drama, and poor choices. Those three things pretty much sum up a lot of teenagers, but it also sums up the kinds of controversy that DC's greatest young superhero team have endured over the years. Hey everybody, I'm your host Kelly Pally, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd, a channel that dives into all things comics and geek culture. Today we're back at it again with our top 10 controversial moments in Teen Titans, Part 2. This time around we'll be looking at more than just the comics, and venturing out into the world of television adaptations of the young superhero team. So with that in mind, let's get to it. And at number 10, Upset Parents. Teen Titans Go to the Movies is a theatrical release following the latest incarnation of the Teen Titans animated adventures. The story follows the Titans going to Hollywood to get their own film after realizing that all of the other major superheroes are getting their own movies. And of course they accidentally run into a particular supervillain stirring up some trouble. It's filled with laughs and jokes as you'd expect for a Teen Titans Go film to have. But it has one joke in particular that isn't resonating overly well with parents. At the end of the film, Robin gives an impassioned speech that ends with his teammates shutting him down, saying that the movie needs to end. As the screen starts to close though, Robin jumps back in and shouts the line, "Kids, ask your parents where babies come from," and then gets out of the way, the screen closes, and the credits roll. While it's pretty darn funny, you can probably appreciate how that didn't go over well with some parents. And at number 9, the Playboy reference. The Teen Titans animated show, the first one, not Go, has been known to push the boundaries with some jokes in very subtle ways over the years. Ways that kids definitely wouldn't pick up on, but adults just might. In season 4, there's an episode called Employee of the Month, in which Beast Boy, who is a vegetarian, gets a job at a fast food restaurant called Mega Meaty Meat. Why? Well, because the Employee of the Month prize is a moped. At one point he flips through a magazine called Hot Rod, which appears to have the silhouette of a curvy woman on the front cover standing next to the silhouette of what appears to be a moped. Beast Boy drools over the centerfold, and we never actually get to see what's inside the magazine. Clearly this is a reference to Playboy magazines and the likes, but Starfire does point out that it's just a land vehicle that he's looking at. Hopefully that doesn't mean that Beast Boy has a weird attraction to mopeds. And at number 8, 16-year-old stripper. That's a profession that arguably isn't overly appropriate to highlight in a comic book series whose primary demographic is younger readers, right? Well, guess what the Teen Titans did? Back in Teen Titans issue 25 in 1970, a character named Lilith Clay was introduced, being the second hero to join the Titans after the team's founders. She becomes Donna Troy's best friend, and has psychic abilities, but her origin story is what lands her on this list. When her psychic powers manifest, she reads her parents' minds to discover that she's actually adopted. So what does she do? Run away from home, despite only being 16. And what does she do to support herself? Well, she becomes a go-go dancer, who dances at nightclubs inside metal cages for a bunch of horny dudes who declare, I quote, "I'd sure like to unravel that enigma." Sure, you can argue that she's not technically a stripper, but dancing in cages at the age of 16, still pretty scandalous. Making good impressions on children. Up next in our number 7 spot, Speedy shoots up. The first Speedy, aka Roy Harper, served as Green Arrow's ward and one of the earlier members of the Teen Titans. He initially made a few guest appearances in the original incarnation of the Teen Titans team, in which the founding members were Dick Grayson, Wally West, and Aqualad, soon joined by Donna Troy. He would then reappear on the team in New Teen Titans Volume 2, but this time a little bit older and operating under a new alias, Arsenal. But after that first incarnation of the Teen Titans disbanded, poor Roy Harper faced a bit of turmoil. And what happens? Well, he turns to music. He joins a band called Great Frog and becomes a drug addict, which was something that had never happened before in a DC comic. His addiction was explored in the Green Lantern Green Arrow crossover in the famous 2-part anti-drug story arc, Snowbirds Don't Fly. Hal Jordan and Oliver Queen find Roy Harper amongst a group of junkies, and they initially think he's just working undercover to apprehend drug dealers until Queen catches him shooting up heroin. As you'll see in later entries on this list, Harper hasn't always been the best when it comes to making judgment calls about stuff. Either that or writers tend to use him as a scapegoat. The opioid crisis is real. And at number 6, Slade gets creepy. In our part 1 of this list, we talked a bit about how Deathstroke, aka Slade Wilson, gets a bit weird with Tara, who is significantly younger than he is. And this happens in both the animated Teen Titans show and in the comics, where their relationship is seemingly even more scandalous. It's implied that the two have a romantic relationship and that Slade has been taking advantage of Tara's affections. But in the animated show, it's not just Tara that Slade gets inappropriate with. Raven gets some unnecessary and unwanted attention too. In a season 4 episode titled Birthmark, Deathstroke comes back from the dead on Raven's birthday, and then proceeds to rip off her clothes to reveal some glowing symbols on her body. Many people recall that scene specifically as the episode where it looked like Slade was going to rape Raven, So, you know, kids were pretty uncomfortable with it even back then. In our number 5 spot, Starfire from Titans. This controversial moment is literally about hair. Yep, hair. And also racism. So over the past several months, after some set photos of the upcoming live-action Teen Titans show, called Titans, was leaked, fans got a little bit triggered by Starfire's hair. Well, that and some of them got a little racist too, which is not cool. Actress Anna Diop was cast as Starfire, and some people lost their shit about the fact that she was black, to the point where they actually started harassing the actress on Instagram, causing her to disable her comments. The criticism about her hair went as far as people likening it to Cheetos. Others were really critical of her costume and were outraged by the photo leaks, even calling her a streetwalker, although it was noted by the actress that this was not the look for the character, but rather specific to the scene that they were shooting that day. Up next, number 4, Grebnax. Another one from the Teen Titans animated series at this number. In the episode Fear Itself in season 2, the Titans watch a terrifying movie together, and they're all pretty freaked out by it, even Raven. Their worst nightmare then comes true when the monster from the film appears in real life. When it first makes an appearance in their world, the Titans end up dogpiling on top of one another out of fear and confusion in the dark. That's when we hear Starfire say, "Someone's claws are on my Grebnax," and that happens right before the light turns back on. We then hear a popping noise, and then when the light's back, we see Beast Boy's tentacle, since he was an octopus at the time, is hanging out pretty darn close to Starfire's chest, with the tentacle wrapped around underneath her neck. A lot of fans are divided as to what Grebnax are referring to, but many think that that's the Tamaranian word for breasts. Also, many a fan thinks this may be a reference to tentacle porn. Up next, number 3, teen pregnancy. Back in the Tales of Teen Titans issue 51 and 52 in 1985, Cheshire, a villain, reveals that one of the Titans had fathered her child. The truth behind who was the daddy wouldn't come out until New Teen Titans Volume 2 issue 20 in 1986. And guess who it was? Our pal Arsenal, back again with another bad judgment call and sleeping with the enemy. This occurred during his time as an undercover government agent, and his mission required him to get the assassin to trust him. According to Cheshire, the two had slept together and she woke up the next morning to find him gone. She tracked him down and decided to kill him because of it. Clearly it was a shock to him that he had gotten her pregnant, but dude did walk out on her, and also clearly did not use protection. Anywho, later on, Cheshire admits that she can't go through with killing him because she loves him, and Harper is completely distraught about not knowing about his child, a daughter named Leanne who would later become monumental in his life. There's even a sweet moment where he holds her for the first time in issue 21. Up next, number 2, Nightwing sexual assault. In New Titans Annual issue 7 back in 1991, a new character was introduced named Miriam Delgado, aka Mirage. Alongside Redwing and several other metahumans, she traveled back in time in order to defeat the villain Lord Chaos and kill his mother, who was Donna Troy. Talked a little bit about this child in our part 1 list. As if this wasn't scandalous enough, when they arrived, Mirage used her powers to impersonate Starfire and sleep with Nightwing. Except, when you really look at the whole situation, it's pretty rapey, considering Nightwing believed that he was with his girlfriend at the time. When he finds out the truth, Nightwing appears to be traumatized and shocked, and Mirage just laughs it off, saying, I quote, "Ha, guess this means no Midnight Olympics tonight." To make it worse, everyone else on the Teen Titans team, minus Starfire, just laughs it off too. Years later, Nightwing would become a victim yet again in Nightwing issue 93, when he was raped by Tarantula in several panels that are clearly non-consensual. And last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Batman. The most recent Teen Titans related bit of controversy doesn't come from the comics or the animated shows. Rather, it comes from the upcoming Titans show once again. At this year's San Diego Comic-Con, audiences finally got a glimpse of the upcoming Titans television series that we made available on DC's subscription-based streaming service, DC Universe. And if you've seen the trailer, it shouldn't be much of a surprise that its reception was pretty mixed. For starters, the whole tone of the show feels as if it's trying very hard to be dark and edgy. But perhaps the most scandalous part of the trailer wasn't the confirmation that Starfire's hair is going to look the way that it is. It's the fact that Dick Grayson, aka Robin, dropped an F-bomb, and about his mentor. During one sequence shown off in the trailer, Grayson beats down on some thugs in an alleyway, finishing off by saying, "F Batman," and everyone else was like, whoa, what the f? According to Jeff Johns, the Titans series follows all of these characters who are lost and troubled, and Grayson in particular is dealing with a lot of past trauma concerning his former mentor, Bruce Wayne, hence the F-bomb. Johns also promised that it was a little more adult than Riverdale, which probably wasn't the best thing to compare it to, since, you know, Riverdale is a cesspool of poorly written teen drama that completely bastardizes one of the longest running classic non-superhero comics in American history. Just saying. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these moments was the most cringeworthy to you? Which ones did you actually like? Do you think Titans actually stands a chance at being good? And do you think I'm too mean about Riverdale? If you do, sorry, it sucks. Share all of your thoughts in those comments below with us. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and if you want to see more videos on the Teen Titans, make sure you check out our channel and click subscribe. We've even got a nifty little playlist currently flashing on your screen that you should check out. In the meantime though, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.